Good day, everyone. It's actually been a while. I haven't been active, but I'm back currently. Um, I currently have this sell on gold USD, and I'm expecting it to actually react from this point. So I'm going to explain. I'm still holding the trade, by the way. So I'm going to explain why I took the trade and everything, how I got my buyers, and why I took this trade is basic. So I'll take off everything on my chart, making sure it's clean. So, all right. What happened? I actually started from the daily time, from the weekly time frame. So, I actually started from the weekly time frame. So, what happened on the weekly? I would like to cut price somewhere around here. All right. So, what happened on the weekly time frame? I had the sweep of this high. I had the sweep of this range high, and I expected movement to the downside. You had a sweep of this range high. I expected movement to the downside. So if you're familiar with CRT, you're going to understand what I'm saying. This is a candle range high, and here is a candle range low. Here is a candle range low. So whenever this high has been swept, we're expecting price to sweep this range low. So we had this sweep of this range high. So we expect the move to continue to the downside. So what actually happened? I had this week closed here. We had this week close at this point, and the new week started from here and closed below this week. Yeah, get completing this range. Yeah, that means this range high has been swept. And we had price also close below this range low. Sorry, this range low has been swept. So we had price swept this low and closed below the low. We had this one, so price took out this low, closed below this low. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting whenever I have something like this, I'm expecting a little bit of movement to the upside like this. I'm always expecting a little bit of movement like this and a sell to the downside because price actually closed below this low. So what will I do? I want to mark out this point here and I need to go down to the lower time frame. So I'll switch down to H4 and show you guys what I got. So on H4, what am I looking out for? I'm looking out for a break of structure. So break of structure meaning we are using Malaysian SMC and we are using SMC and also CRT. So in this, I won't show you guys how I use BBMA. I think I will do it in another video. So this is what I actually do. Look for the most recent break of structure. This was my break of structure here. Had this break of structure. I think by then price didn't actually gave me this. So I had this break of structure. What am I looking out for next? I look for my liquidity. So whenever I have a break of structure, here's my break of structure. It's my zone here. Break of structure. I want to look for liquidity. So we always know liquidity is the first pullback after break of structure. So I basically mark out this zone as my liquidity. So what am I expecting? I want to look now for a valid POI where I actually expect price to actually come from because from here I think I have a sweep here. I should have a sweep here and a strong high at this point. I think it should be this point. A strong high at this point, but that's not actually useful. So I want to look out for what am I looking at? I want to look out for my POI. So I don't actually know which zone in this range will price actually react from. So what am I supposed to do? I go to the higher time frame to look for my POI. I look for my POI on the higher time frame. So what am I looking out for? I want to look out for which resistance zone do I have after this liquidity. So I can turn on line chart to make that easier. On line chart, I had this resistance zone. This resistance zone here. And so this was the point which this was the most recent resistance zone after this liquidity. This was our most recent resistance zone. So I'm actually expecting price to come to the zone, take out this, like tap into this zone, and I can start a storyline from there. Or I can start looking for my setups from there. So that's just what I actually do. So let's see what price actually gave us. Let's see what happened. So we had Price came. Okay, we had to tap into that zone. This was a tap we had here, not this first one. We had this tap into the zone. This was a tap we had into the zone. Price took out this guy, and we had this close below. So what do? You can start the storyline from this point. It's easy, but you can still use CRT, the same model I use on the higher time frame to get my bias. You can also use CRT on this. So what do? I have this range high. Price I've taken out this range high. So for me to make it easy, I want to go on a lower time frame and look for my setups. So what do? I go to the lower time frame, 1 hour time frame, and I want to look for my setups on that 1 hour time frame. So on this 1 hour time frame, what do I have? I have a sweep. If I take out this line, I have a sweep, I have a break of structure. We have a break of structure, and we know first pullback after that is liquidity. So break of structure, first pullback was supposed to be, this ought to be our liquidity. So now, what are we looking out for? We're looking out for a PY after this liquidity for us to tap. Okay, so we cannot say this is our guy here because we have other zones inside this range. So what do? We can turn on our line chart and we're going to see this support zone here. We can mark it out. So let's go back. And we also have this open close level here. So the reason why I won't take this open close is because if I go on 15 minutes, let me see 15 minutes. This open close is still an open close. Okay, this open close is still an open close. I think I have videos where I explain how to use open close for entries to know which open close is valid and when an open close is not valid. So this open close is not valid for me, so I won't use it. So instead, I will use this V-shape level which has already been tested. So I'm going to use that one as my entry. So what do? I'll place it here. Even though it's not fresh, but I want to explain it's still going to work out. So I want to look out for this weak high. This weak high, I'll place my stop loss above it a little. Then I'll look for, I'll target this point, target this low here. So that was my entry. And what happened? Price start. And we had movements. So here's where price is currently at. So I'm still expecting this movement. I'm still expecting price to come right to this zone here. So that's where price is currently at. And that was how I got the setup. That's how I got the setup. So I'm going to explain how I use I'll explain in other videos. I'm going to explain how I use trend lines as confluences and I use BBMA as confirmation. But if I can turn on my BBMA tool, you'll see on this setup here on the 1 hour time frame, you're going to have the full BBMA structure. Let me show you for example. Let's go on H4. On H4, I have the full BBMA structure here. Let me show you. So here we have extreme. We have this extreme move sell, and here we have MSV. You have MSV and you have MSV again. So this is our directional candlestick. So we're expecting a re-entry at this zone here. So that's how I use BBMA. So this is my full BBMA setup. I actually got this trade using an MSV sell here. So I think I'll explain in other videos I'm going to be posting. So I think that's all for today.